Josh, appreciate you coming down today, man.
No, thanks for having me.
I know how hectic your schedule's got.
That's
we'll
why we're here on a Sunday.
Yeah, exactly that. First time to Lee?
Yeah, definitely. I've been close, but yeah, first time to Lee on sea. Yeah,
nice.
It's lovely so far, especially when you get a lovely, beautiful day. I mean, what more do you want?
Exactly that. So we're gonna go quite short in the hair today.
I think so. Yeah, I usually go 4 or 5. I think I'll go for 4 today.
Yeah.
And then mid to high fade, skin.
You go down to foils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please,
nice.
Yeah,
so I want to obviously going to cover subjects, obviously what you're known as, like the Tourettes barber, but I want to get to know you aside from that to start off with. So why did you choose barbering as a vocation?
That's a good question, man.
Did you do it straight away? Is it what you've
No,
always done?
I didn't. I'll be honest. So what am I now? I'm 29. I qualified when I was 21.
Yeah.
So not all that long in the big scheme of things. And I remember, I don't know if you had it as well, that when I first started out, I used to lie how long I've been doing it. To kind of like just keep people at ease.
Yeah.
But I picked it up really quick. And it was actually one of my best mates who now works with me as a barber as well on a Friday, Callum. I wasn't sure what to do. I worked with family before.
Yeah.
I'd made the decision to leave the family firm. And I was an estate agent for a little bit. I realised that weren't for me because I'm not a prick. So I did that for a little bit, and then I'd saved up, and when I did a course in London, and I just really.
Did you go to London School of Barbering?
I didn't go to School of Barber. I went to Total Barber in Shoreditch,
nice.
Which I think, nothing against London School of Barbering, but I think it suited my kind of style in the sense of it was quite casual at the time. I think they're a little bit more kind of routine now. It's been open a bit longer, but because one of my barbers actually works there as a tutor in the week. So,
wicked.
But yeah, so I started off like that. I went to college, did a few friends at the same time. Luckily, like I said, Callum, my best mate, was also a barber, so he showed me a few things. And I did a few like weekends in his shop he was working at the time in West Hampstead. Mm-hmm. And I just got the bug for it really. Like I enjoyed the kind of the casualness of the conversation and getting to meet different people, different haircuts all the time. And, that first year is tough, I have to say. Thinking back,
do you know it's tough as well because when you're the apprentice, no matter how good you are at cutting hair, no one trusts you. No. Like you could be better than all the people in your shop, but that title apprentice just scares people. But then the minute you qualify, they're happy to let you cut their hair.
100%. It's like a placebo, isn't it? It's like, if you didn't tell them and they did it, they'd be absolutely fine. But it's that moment that they realise. And but then again, I do miss the start because I liked proving myself to people. And again, like we said, like talk about not necessarily Tourette's, but like I was in a point in my life where my Tourette's was actually really quiet. Mm-hmm. So I almost got the opportunity to like just learn a trade and not it be about my tics. And unfortunately, about a year and a half into like becoming a barber, my tics kind of like became a bit more apparent again, and I had to like adapt to working with my tics and actually how to like put people at ease as well,
So are the tics something that have got progressively worse as you've got older? Have you always had it?
No, so I only developed my Tourette's when I was about 14.
Wow.
So it was quite late to develop it. But I mean, the doctors wouldn't necessarily agree, but I have a feeling that I always had it.
Yeah.
And then, I actually had a very minor fall on a ski trip in Italy with my school. And I fell over. I got back up. It wasn't like dramatic or anything, but they reckon that's what triggered my Tourette's. They reckon a spinal injury in the back of my brain.
Wow.
So from that moment on, I was never the same.
I think that is a big, not issue, but I think that is, I know we spoke about it on the phone, like people's naivety to it makes them not know how to understand it.
Definitely.
So I think people just think, oh, you're born with it, but you don't realise that different people develop it at different stages, different tics.
I think some people don't even realise they've got it sometimes.
No, exactly.
And there is different things like, you can have tics or not have Tourette's.
Yeah.
So I think it's, I know I've got Tourette's, I've had it a long time, but I'm not an expert on diagnosis.
No, of course, yeah.
But like, fuck you, engine man. I you could, I think you've got to have like 3 types of tics to kind of like qualify for, to be considered, to be diagnosed with Tourette's.
Right, okay.
But yeah, so, I mean, it was doubly hard when it came to like proving myself in the shop as a barber.
Yeah, of
But
course.
the shop I worked in, and my boss was obviously very aware of it. You know, it was hard because I actually worked with another guy who he suffered with tics himself, and I dealt with some customers that were like, they'd come for a haircut with me, but had my other barber before, and they were like slagging him off.
Really?
And I wasn't visibly or verbally twitching at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember like saying to one guy, like, because my barber used to often like used to bang his tools together, and then he'd do your haircut, and he'd be absolutely fine, never like cut anyone, never nicked anyone. It wasn't like that, but sometimes he used to just bang his.
What is just like a physical tick?
Yeah, just a physical tick, and then he'd like his eyes would maybe turn a little bit, but he was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And I remember this one customer came in, he was like slagging him off. He was like, I won't be using him again because I don't really trust him with his movements.
And he wasn't aware that you had Tourette's?
He wasn't aware, and I went, I'll be honest, mate, talk like that again.
Yeah,
you won't be having a haircut.
No,
and it wasn't even my shop.
Yeah.
But I just felt so incensed about how he spoke, because it wasn't like he was just asking. He was like, basically, he was like, I'm not having that twitchy bastard cut my hair again. And the haircut was immaculate. This guy was a great barber.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, it kind of made me realise that there is a little bit of like, I don't want to say prejudice, but like there is a little bit of like,
no, there is that.
People will judge.
Yeah. Of course they will, yeah. And it's in all walks of life. But like you say, it's interesting how when he didn't know that you had Tourette's, he's confident to speak to you and slag someone else off. But if he knew you had Tourette's, he wouldn't have had that conversation.
I know, he probably wouldn't have let me cut his hair.
Exactly.
Like, or whatever. Which, you know, and I'm not like against it. I understand that like some people might prefer not to. I'm absolutely fine with that. I couldn't really, you know, excuse my French, I couldn't give a shit, to be honest. Like,
but again, that plays into the naivety. Because people don't understand it or know about it too much, they'd rather shut it down and think, I don't have anything to do with that. Whereas instead of turning around to your mate at work and saying, look, I understand you hitting your tools together, like, is that all it is, or does it get worse? And
I think a lot of it, it's hard because I think like someone like like that guy I'm referring to, he might not have wanted to really bring it up. Right. But me personally, I'd rather people ask, or, you know, whatever, I'd much rather that, just so we get it out. Like, and I know you even asked me before we came, like, do you mind if we acknowledge that you twitched and stuff? I'm always like, well, what's the point in acting like I haven't done it? And if it's like, sometimes it's really funny, sometimes it's boring as anything. It's just a random word or a sound. But
because it is worse sometimes. If you're sitting here ticking and I'm just trying to carry on a conversation and not even acknowledge it, it's only going to make you feel anxious, isn't it? Because you think, oh, I shouldn't be doing this.
Or like, you know, sometimes I see it when I'm cutting kids' hair and I'm twitchy and like say I've like sworn or shouted really loudly. Yeah. Sometimes they're trying to hold it in. I'm like, it's okay. Like, I don't, just as long as I don't feel like someone is taking the piss out of me, I couldn't care how you react. Yeah. If you find it funny, if you find it quite shocking, like that's okay as well, you know. Yeah. But you know, I do deal with kids a lot. That's a big part of like, big part of being a barber, obviously, as well, dealing with kids in the shop. Yeah. Especially like if you're a high street barber or an everyday barber, which I think there's a big difference now. You see a lot of barbers online that like, whether they're studio barbers, whether they're like, personal barbers to people, like, but I don't know how you see yourself then, but I see myself as an everyday barber. Yeah. That, works in a shop, and I cater everyone from the kids to the golden oldies to the young lads who want the sharp, short, cool haircuts, you know? Yeah. So, 100%. But that was a bit of an adaptation for me when my Tourette's kind of got like, not, I hate saying it got worse because it seems like I'm saying like, oh, I've taken a dive, but like, I mean,
more prominent.
Yeah, it's like a phase where like it's worse, and it's probably been like that for like 4 or 5 years now. Yeah. Where it's every day, it gets worse with like tiredness or stress or even like excitement can get it overdone.
So it's a bit of a double-edged sword what you've done. Like, I know you've now opened up 2 locations, but part of the reason that I see that you opened up your first shop is because you wanted full control, wasn't it? You wanted to be able to work on your own schedule.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'll be honest, like, it got to the point where my tics were so bad, and I've got nothing against my old boss now. I wasn't best pleased at the time, but like, I invited him to the opening recently, like, we're all good. But it got to the point where he was like, mate, I'm a little worried about you with like the kids and like how people will receive it. And I understand, but like, it's the vocal. Yeah. Like, we used to be quite worried about like having swearing music on, let alone me like shouting cunt in the middle of the shop. Was like, but then, so then we kind of went our separate ways. Like I took time off and a bit of sick pay, which was shocking. And then obviously COVID hit, and I just decided to like, it's now or never. Like, I could go and work for someone else, but I might have the same problem again in 6 months. So I thought, yeah, let's pull the trigger, and I managed to find a shop in my hometown,
Nice.
which is like, Chesham, but my little village is Gough Soap, so. And
that's H&Co, yeah?
H&Co, yeah, which is, Hughes & Co, H&Co. And yeah, that was our first one. We've just hit 4 years, literally last week.
That's mad, isn't it?
And within
Flies.
that, man, I appreciate it, man. It's, it's like opening a shop. It takes a little while to build up your reputation and that.
Of course,
and actually find your rhythm and your style.
Mm-hmm.
Not just with the decor of the shop, but actually what you think is important. And then going forwards, obviously finding more staff. Like, we're quite a family-orientated business, so
yeah, I get that from everything I've seen. It's a very tight-knit community, isn't it? Like all your barbers on the same sort of level, and it's all your clients seem kind of the same.
We're quite relaxed as well. Like, I definitely have a way of doing things, but like, I'm big on customer service, and as a barber, I don't think nowadays, especially, you're not just a barber. You do become like a friend, and like
100%.
You do become, sometimes more than that as well. Like, there's some customers that I would even, now, especially after a couple of years, I would go for a beer with them after work, and you do take a lot of care in each other's lives, and you do pick up on things, whether it's like their kids or their partners or they're like, you just know a lot about them.
You know what I found over the years, though, is that with social media and stuff like that, you almost get kind of brainwashed into this idea of good customer service means you have to be shirt and tie, smartly dressed, professional shop, which is not, is it? Like, me and Rich spoke about this a few years ago, that customer service is what value your customers need.
Yeah.
And like with your community, if you walked in with a shirt and tie, they'd probably think, what you dressed like that for?
Yeah.
Because it's not you.
Why dressed like a fucking penguin? Do you know what I mean? It is a bit like that. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm trying to reinstate a bit of a uniform now, but I'm not really too fussy with how people dress. I think as long as you present well, don't come into work with a tracksuit on.
But uniform could be a t-shirt with your logo on.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah,
it doesn't have to be
that's
it. If that's your vibe,
because I want people to embrace their own style as well.
Absolutely.
Within the shop, like
Absolutely.
and also it's also being a bit diverse as well. Which I'm not saying I necessarily go looking for it. It's more about the person. If that person fits. Like I've got 2 new guys starting next week, and I'm really excited, and I'm sure it's going to work out. They seem really good, but time will tell. The proof's in the pudding. But I think slightly changing the conversation. It's like with growth, it's nerve-wracking, but also you need to do it to grow.
Of course you do.
Yeah, you can't do it without it.
No. And is it something that when you drive your focus into something, does it help you or does it add more stress?
I think I do struggle with stress.
Right.
It can affect my Tourettes. It can affect I'm not the most organised person. But then I think actually, in turn, like you surround yourself with people that are a bit more organised.
Yeah.
And that can help you, because I realised actually after opening a couple of businesses and stuff that the most successful people in the world or in the country, whatever, they surround themselves with people that can help them.
100%.
And I think that's what people don't realise. In this day and age, like, I get it. It's about social media and how people promote themselves, but like, any successful people, it's not fucking completely on their own.
No. You've either got like a partner, or a business partner, or someone like that.
100%. And even gets
Rich
down,
is my organisation.
Yeah. No, but we all need it. Yeah, we all need a Rich, don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, it's hard. Like like my partner Lucy, she's the one who kind of keeps me on the straight and narrow and keeps on top of things, and especially more now with we do the social stuff as well. Like, we do the Instagram and TikTok. We do a lot of filming. I've had a lot of opportunities out of it as well. So I'm so grateful I've got Lucy. Lucy was the one that was the first person to tell me to film. With that, Lucy said to me, "Have you ever thought about filming your haircuts?" And I went, "Could do. I mean, who's going to want to see it?" And then we did 2 with 2 of my regulars who were very comfortable. They'd seen me twitch a lot. And then they did really well on TikTok and stuff. And then it was actually I filmed with a little lad called Harry.
Yeah, I know you talking about.
Fucking everyone knows this. Everyone knows Harry, which I love that. And because a couple of times I think people feel like I'm jealous. I'm absolutely not jealous. But it is funny because people will recognise you in the street and they're like, "How's Harry?" I'm like,
but how amazing
is so
that?
Mad. It's mad. It's absolute mad.
Because for him, he probably needs someone like you, because I can't speak from experience, but maybe you can. Growing up, like, you've got the pressures of fitting in at school as it is, let alone fitting in with something like Tourette's. So it's, for him, having
Oh, he hasn't got Tourette's.
Oh, is he the little blonde boy?
This is a little blonde boy. Sorry, there's a couple of other lads.
Yeah,
That was a recent one. Sorry, yeah. No, Harry's just a really good regular.
No, I know exactly who you're talking about.
But it's just his little personality that comes out. But sorry, touch on that side a bit with the other kids, like.
Yeah, you put one up the other day.
Yeah, that was Finn.
Finn, yeah.
Finn Larden, yeah, fucking hell. Because I must have cut his hair like 4 or 5 times before we decided to film. Because I've had experience before with other lads that I've cut their hair, and like this was a while ago, and I think I was not saying I think I was naive to think about. I was naive to not think the internet would come back.
Yeah, of course.
So I filmed with another lad called Kieran, who's a lovely young lad. He's got quite severe Tourette's.
Yeah.
And he was just, he was really good fun to film with, and he was really keen to film, and his mum was there as well. And then we posted it online, and it went mental.
Yeah.
I think it's still my most viewed video on TikTok, for example. I think it's got like 35 million views. And
it's mad, right?
Yeah, there's like one sentence that people fixate on, and they're like, how does he know that? He can't learn that. I'm like, you don't get Tourette's. And that's what I realised, actually, that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's only got to listen to a bit of music or hear someone in the street or whatever. Like,
he's like 12.
Yeah.
Like, you're fucking stupid if you don't think that kids know all this stuff by the age of 10. Like, especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20, 30 years ago, you could have been a little bit more. You might have been a bit more naive, or you might have been young for longer.
Yeah.
But now they grow up really fast, and they see stuff, they hear stuff, they remember stuff. You know, whether it's on the screen or in person. But yeah, like, and then they started off with little Harry's video. Really kind of went mental. I think I called him a pedo in the first 5 seconds of this video, and I think that's what engaged people. Then we realised that's. You got to find a little hook.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And obviously, just to be clear as well with my tics and stuff, yes, the way we edit it maybe to make it more entertaining and a bit quicker pace, but nothing's put on, nothing is orchestrated. It's more maybe a little bit more in the edit. And it just blew up from there, really, man. I wasn't expecting it, genuinely. Like, I thought we might get a little bit of traction. And then it just kind of got, I don't want to say out of control, but like, Lad Bible picked it up and the other things, and the following started to really grow, and there was obviously like a bit of demand to see more stuff, and we just.
But that's what stands out with your content to me. Like, I was literally talking to Rich about this morning. When I scroll through your page from a barber's perspective, I was completely engaged with all your new videos, and then as soon as I hit the haircutting videos, I kind of stopped scrolling. Not because they're not good things, but I know you can cut hair.
Yeah,
like, I'm interested in you as a person. Yeah. Like, and it comes across so authentic.
It's interesting you say it like that as well, because I think I know that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm like, I'll go back to trying a few more haircut videos. I'm like, well, there's no point. But not saying there's no point, there is. But do you know what's a really weird thing for me as well, Dean? I didn't think I was going to be respected within the barbering community. I thought I'd be seen as more of a joke.
No, not at all.
I know I can cut hair, and I know I'm good because got like 4 to 6 week wait list, like and that's not because people want to come and see me twitch all the time. That's because they want a great haircut.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've done a couple of shows over the past summer, and like, I get asked in a lot of like judging and bits and I'm almost like overwhelmed by the love of the barbering community.
Yeah, big time.
And even you reaching out and we're doing this, like
Yeah. But that is what the industry is to me. Like, I don't just want to be on social media like, look how good I can cut hair.
Yeah.
We're a very social industry, like we're a very community industry.
Definitely.
And if you're not using this platform or these kind of situations to get to know people, meet people, then why are you doing it as a job? You might as well just work in a studio, keep yourself to yourself, and just blow smoke up your ass. Like, I want to champion people for what they're doing, not tell people how good I am. Like,
no, definitely.
It's a tough one.
And I think, but not everyone is like that.
No.
I think not just in barbering, but in everyday life, you realise actually some people don't like seeing other people do well.
No.
And I've seen it with like friends and people I know that like, I've got such a big support with friends and stuff. And I think it's funny, like, especially when you build a big following.
Yeah.
Like we just hit 1 million followers on TikTok last week, which is mad. And I think everyone just assumes you must be doing really well. Mm-hmm. And we are, like, it's great, and it really is. And but you still got the everyday problems like anyone else would, and I've still got to get to work on time, and I think people don't see past that. I think people think that maybe I don't work as much now, which I'm doing 6 days a week. Like,
it's interesting you say that because we've had your third guest now, and all the guests we've had have had relatively big followings. Like our last guest had like 7, 8 million or something like that.
Wow.
And he said like he hit 1 million and he thought he was going to get a knock on the door with a check with like a bag full of money. And he said it never come. And he said it's
anticlimactic.
Yeah,
is exactly the
you
word.
can go down that route if you want to promote the hell out of stuff, but it completely goes against what you're doing. Like it
feels a bit fake.
Yeah, exactly that.
Like even like, you know, and don't get me wrong, like, you know, I will support brands that I believe in, other people as well. I'll definitely support them, but I'm not. It's funny, like, you know, as soon as you build a following, you start getting lots of people in your DMs and lots of like, you know, people, lots of brands and all that. And I'm like, you know, I'll take any opportunity I can if it works, but like, I'm not just doing it because either someone wants to give me money or, you know, that's not my style at all. But going back to like the Tourette's community as well, I think what I really realised was that I've actually got an opportunity here to show young people, you know, not just young people, but anyone of all ages, that actually, if you do have Tourette's or similar situation, similar conditions, like neurological, actually, fuck it. I'm not saying that everyone's going to become a radio DJ, but, you know, for obvious reasons, but I don't think anyone would have thought that someone with a bit of physical Tourette's and, you know, and swearing that I could own and run a barbershop for a high standard, and I'm doing it and I'm living proof of that. So that's why I want to show the younger people. I think I've got a passion for the younger people because I know how hard it is growing up with it.
100%. But it's always seems to be a trick that kind of gets missed with the kids. Is we all do it. Like when you look at your diary and you've got a day worth of kids, you think,
old bastard.
But that's not the first time we called that. Don't worry.
Not even today.
That wasn't even a tick. It's just
just straight up.
But their kids will stay with you. If you look after a kid, they will generally stay with you. And they then become adults and they're more money and their price. And I
say that all the time. There's no better thing though. You've seen that kid grow up. And you've seen their different styles and they change. And there's something beautiful about that. And I think there's a few jobs that do that. Like whether, I mean, not that you don't have a family doctor anymore, but like, you know, whether it's you're a dentist or a barber or jobs like that where you see someone, I mean, we see people very regularly, don't we? But like, I'm trying to think of other jobs that are similar like that. But do you know what I mean? You do get to know someone so deeply that like, you do see him grow up and you know, like, for example, little Harry that comes to me, I've been cutting his hair for like 3 or 4 years. He's already grown up a lot. I cut his 3 older brothers' hair, that's why he is how he is as well, because he's got 3 great brothers.
Right.
His next brother is like 17.
Yeah.
So he's grown up quite quickly.
Up tough,
yeah, he's you know, not quite scrapping for food at the table, but not far off. Do you know what I mean? So, and then he's got wonderful parents as well, and especially with like me with my Tourette's, especially when it's bad, like I'm so appreciative of people that I'm trying to make them understand, and they do understand, and I do still get it, not often now as much, especially with the social and stuff, and obviously a lot of people know, but there's still be times where I had this one mum in my head, and I always say, like, I just want to let you know, I've got Tourette's, by the way, so it's very possible that I might swear, I might shout, you know. I remember her reaction being like, oh yeah, okay. I was like, no, just making you very aware that I am not joking. She would say, yeah, I've met you before. It's like, no, you might have met me before. I might have been absolutely fine. Yeah. But I do have Tourette's and I'm probably going to swear in front of your kids today. I'm just letting you know. Yeah. She was like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then I did. I've had it, and not even that woman, but I've had other situations like, oh yeah, no, I get it. And then I'll be like, oh, you cunt. Yeah. And you're like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be like that. What do you want from me? Like, I've given you a heads up.
Just black and white.
I can't tell you. Yeah. I can't tell you what's going to come out. I can't tell you it's going to be PG-13 today, and then tomorrow it's going to be over 18s only. Do you know what I mean? I can't say OnlyFans. So is it completely involuntary? You've got no idea what you're going to say? I think there's things I can pick up on, like certain words or conversations or topics. I'm like, that's probably going to come out. Yeah. But no, it's not like I'm thinking about it, then it comes. Yeah, it's not like that. It's completely like out the blue. Like I said, you do find your rhythms and stuff like that, and maybe you understand, but a lot of people with Tourette's can suppress. So like if you were really like adamant you didn't want to twitch there or certain situations, you can hold it in. Yeah. But it's a bit like trying to hold in a hiccup. It's going to have to come. It's going to come out worse. Yeah. So, but I haven't been able to find that, not that control. I've never been able to find that suppressing bit. But why should you? No, I get that. But actually, fuck me, it would have been helpful over the years. That's true. If I could be like, do you know what? I've got a really Yeah, I've been to funerals, weddings where I'm like, God, I wish I could shut up now.
Yeah.
And especially like with the excitement of things like that. You know, I love funerals. But not the excitement of a funeral, but like, you know, when you're like supposed to be quiet.
Yeah.
That's probably when it will come out because you know you're supposed to be quiet. I mean, I've done it so many times where like they'll be like lowering the coffin. I'm like,
Really?
help! And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, it's not me. I don't want to be doing that.
Yeah.
I actually don't want to be in the limelight right now. Or like, my cousin got married last year, and they asked the bride and groom, the mother of the bride and groom, the mothers, to get up. One of them being my auntie, and I just shouted "MILFs" at the top of my lungs.
Brilliant.
You know, and everyone found it quite funny. And I think majority of people at this wedding knew. I didn't know the bride's family as much, but like everyone knew. But I think some people were just laughing in the fact of like that's quite funny. Like,
you're just saying.
I didn't really want to be doing this. This is their day. Like it's not about me. Unfortunately, that's something I've had to deal with as well. That actually sometimes I will be in the limelight when I don't necessarily want to be.
Yeah, that's true.
And you've got to be kind of comfortable like that. I mean, and obviously now with the social media picking up, like I do get recognised a lot more in the street, and people do come up to me. And you know, most people are absolutely lovely, but I've got to be aware that people will want to ask me questions and say nice things, which is again, it's all cool. But there's times when you don't really want to be.
How have you dealt with that? Because it kind of exploded overnight, didn't it?
Yeah,
you had a following, and then it gained some traction, and it just compounded.
I mean, we've been doing it about. It was a year in March.
Yeah,
we've been posting like as the Tourettes barber, and taking it more seriously. And then it just took off. I mean, how do I do it? It was initially really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but then there was a part when I was getting like teenagers just pointing and being like, "You're on TikTok." Yeah, man, sweet, yeah, cool. See you in a bit. You know, because I didn't know what do I say to that. But now it's a lot more like people know even know my name, or they know me as the Tourettes barber, or like, oh, you're that barber from, I'm like, that's like, nice to meet you. I'd never be rude to anyone, and also, God, I'm not. People have said to me now, "Oh, you're famous." I'm not famous. I'm just known online. That's how I say it because I feel a bit silly saying I'm famous, and
it's a tough one though because like everyone has off days, down days, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
But I guess when you've got that much of a foot, and in the world we live in now, you might not want to have a conversation with someone, and it's because of your Tourette's. Like you don't want to come across in a certain way, and it's good. Yeah, I sympathise with that because if I don't want to talk to someone, I can just kind of palm it off and go on my way. Whereas,
I mean, I've had a couple of people be a bit rude. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, this again was a while ago, and I was in a pub not far from me, and this guy had actually spotted me in the toilet.
Right.
And he was trying to shake my hand while he was still at the urinal.
I'm glad you
still using it. Oh, exactly. Fucking little prick. Willie. Oh, I hate that word so much. Prick. He was still going to the toilet and trying to shake my hand. I was like, mate, you finish up here. I'll catch you in a bit. Anyway, I was outside and we were standing with a couple of mates in the smoking area. And he came up to us. And I'd already seen him and kind of said hello, so I knew what he was about.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave his phone to my mate and said, "Can you just film us?"
And I was talking.
So literally, my mate had no idea who he was. I think my mate thought he was a friend of mine or something, right?
Right.
And he went, "Can you just film us for a minute, mate?" And my mate went, "Sorry, what?" I was like, I can't even tell you his name. And I went to him like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, you'll do something funny in a minute." So I just thought I'd film it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I was like, "Mate, one, you haven't really asked me. Two, I'm actually not doing this now." And he was like, "But you film yourself all the time." I went, "Yourself." You use that word. I'd make that call. Yeah. You haven't even said, "I don't mind taking a picture of you" or something like that, but you can't just stand next to me and hope I'm going to twitch. Yeah. It just felt like you're using me.
You're not doing it for views on Instagram.
And that's not what it's about. And I just felt a bit. And anyway, I've had a few things like that, and he was absolutely fine. It's not that bad. I'm not getting like verbally abused or anything like that, but just I think when people see you online and stuff like that, I think they just think that they know you well enough to do that. That's maybe what's hard, but we all get it. We've lived in the world of celebrity, and you might meet someone and get nervous. And I love people coming up and saying hello. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
And God, it's not hard work. I mean, I don't deal with it that much at all. Like when you see like people, big celebrities that have to really deal with shit, like it's completely different. And I'm not putting myself on that level at all either. Just to be
but
clear.
on a way, like the world's changed. It is that kind of level now because back in not even that long ago, 10 years ago, the only way you knew celebrities was in films and newspapers and maybe online.
Yeah.
Whereas now, because of TikTok, Instagram, YouTube,
it's so accessible. And people share a lot more.
Yeah. Too much sometimes.
I can't tell you how many people said to me like, "Oh, we were watching your videos at work the other day," or like, or like a lot of my customers will speak to their friends, and they might have, like their friends might have said, "Oh, have you seen this guy online, the barber that's got Tourette's or the Tourette's barber?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, he cuts my hair." And they're like, "No, he doesn't." They like can't believe it.
Yeah.
And that really cracks me up.
They don't think you're actually a barber.
Well, this is it. Yes, exactly. I mean, I think as well, it's also when you get like really crazy views, and I think people do almost put you on a pedestal as if like you can't be an everyday person.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So yeah, we've opened the other shop. So the plan going forward is to grow the companies, grow the brand, keep doing the online. Obviously, raising awareness is raising awareness for my Tourette's is such a big thing for me. And if anything, that's only grown with what I've been doing. And I get a lot more young people coming to me with Tourette's now, which is so beautiful. Like people will travel ages to come. Like I have people travel like a couple of hours just to come for a haircut regularly. Nice that, and it's really like I almost feel guilty, but it's such a blessing. I see it as. I mean, especially the young people with Tourette's and adults as well. Like it really touches me in a way that actually I'm like, I'm doing this for people that like me as a child. I didn't have any role models apart from maybe a couple on screen that you might have seen when I was young. The only person with Tourette's I knew was that fucking Pete from Big Brother. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah, there was a program on years ago, and I don't know,
like a documentary.
Guy.
John,
and it's that's the only thing.
I mean, his story is incredible. They're actually. He's actually making a docu film.
Yeah,
I was asked to be in it, but I couldn't commit to the timings. But
because he was very physical, wasn't he?
Very physical and very verbal.
Yeah,
but I think a lot of people remember him trying to get his dog to cross the road.
That's it. Yeah, trying to kick him out.
No.
And it was like he hit his mum in the supermarket and stuff like that. So I think it was great seeing that, but because that was the only thing accessible at the time, people just think.
Mate, you got Tourette's. People think Tourette's is just a swearing.
Exactly.
And it's so not. I mean, even you touching on like hitting his mum in the face. I used to do that so much as a kid, and it's horrible to think back.
Oh, so you have had physical tics?
Oh yeah. So my physical Tourette's was so much worse when I was young.
Right.
Like when I had my ski accident, the physical was what showed itself straight away.
Right.
And then about I actually said on another podcast about a year ago that it was 6 months. My dad corrected me, said it was 6 weeks, and you were verbally twitching.
Wow.
I don't really remember. I tried lots of medication. I'll be honest, like when anyone wants to talk to me about the early years, I actually want to get my parents more involved because I wasn't in charge of my own care.
No, exactly.
So, and I tried lots of different medication, which some good, some bad, some very bad. Like, I developed like this thing where I used to collapse a lot. I took a lot of time out of school. I didn't get any, my school were really great. Like they handled it really well considering like it was kind of like unprecedented at the time within our area or in the school. I took a lot of time off and it was quite a crucial period of time. Like, it was GCSE time. I didn't get any GCSEs in the end. I couldn't revise, couldn't concentrate. I couldn't sit exams. So, but that's another thing about my story as well that especially at the moment, a lot of kids have had like their sixth form results or their GCSE results and stuff. I'm like, always try your best, but it will be okay.
Of course.
Regardless. Like,
I mean, I don't think I've used my GCSEs. I've done all right in school. I don't think I've used them once.
No one ever asked me, mate.
And it's like, you put so much pressure on it, which I get it. Like if you want to go into a certain career path and you want to go down a route, concentrate on it. But it doesn't have to consume you. If you struggle with exams and you struggle, I mean, I'm probably going to get backlash from this from parents where their kids are just at the GCSEs.
No, but I think there is a level, like, if your kid's very academic and you can push them in the appropriate way that is, is productive, then fine.
Yep.
But there's a lot of kids that won't react well to that and they need a little bit, for me, I was very creative. I wasn't the most organised, but I loved art. I wasn't actually that much into drama, believe it or not, but like I liked art and I liked being creative and I liked food and I liked things like that. So I knew I wasn't going to go down the route of like
conventional corporate.
No, at all. But I was always, I think for me, I got a lot of kicks. Fuck you, fuck, and even like prior to my Tourette's and stuff, I used to love making adults laugh.
Nice.
And sometimes at the expense of my parents as well, like. To their friends, I'd like bring up things that I know they wouldn't want people to know, just to get a laugh.
Yeah.
And I just really adapted with that. Like I just felt really, it made me feel quite powerful having this humour and wit and confidence within. Don't touch me, bitch. I gained a lot of confidence in that field. Whether it was getting in trouble, being a bit cheeky, and really chatting all the time.
Yeah.
And then I realised actually that can get you They can get you places.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what then helped me further down the line in my career, whether it was like briefly being an estate agent or now as a lot like long term being a barber. Like I've used that little thing I found when I was young to be my personality to grow the brand, and goes back to the customer service and everything else. And I think the best barbers are the ones actually that are the most well rounded.
Absolutely.
Like you can cut hair brilliantly. Like I know some amazing barbers that they're shit hot at cutting hair, but they haven't got great chat.
No personality. Yeah.
No personality. It's absolutely dead. I mean, I know of you way before we'd even spoke. Like because I think you're a massive barber in the industry now, like massively, and especially for your. I think I was following you before you were even doing like talking to the camera content.
Yeah,
it was more like your haircuts and stuff like that, and obviously you're doing like. You did a lot about like editorial haircuts and stuff like that, really cool. And I think for a lot of barbers, that seems completely out of reach.
Yeah.
And I think seeing like an average Joe like yourself doing well inspires a lot of other young barbers to do so. And I think now, like, within the industry, it is maybe a little bit like, I think now, unfortunately, there's a lot of fucking barbershops. There's a lot of people learning to become barbers, but I don't think they've really got the quality.
No.
And
that's it.
And they think, oh yeah, it's cool because like, I don't have to wear a uniform. It's a relaxed environment. You can be really tattooed. Everyone looks quite cool. There's so much more to it than that.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, that's kind of half what drew me, if I'm being honest with you. But then you start to realise what the real importance is, and it is about customer service. And I think the biggest thing in barbering actually is translating what a customer wants into a haircut.
Yeah,
because they're not experts. We're the experts.
Exactly that.
You don't go to the doctors and diagnose yourself, do you?
Well, not all the time. We've got some absolute titans in the industry that are taking the industry by storm with their haircuts, and there's definitely a place for it because they're inspirational. You look at their haircuts and you think, I'd love to be able to cut hair like that. But then there's other aspects to look at, like people like yourself, and you think you want to tap into that genuine content and conversation because your clients aren't going to care if you can cut hair like Vidal Sassoon. They want
100%.
They want a haircut that's going to suit them and their lifestyle. And they want to have a good chat with you.
But also as well, like, I've met some amazing people and I've cut some really amazing hair, like whether it be a bit of Ireland or I've done some of the Love Island lot or whatever it is. That's really great and I love doing that. But my main client is the average man. And that's who pays my bills, not the models, not the celebs, not all that shit. It's the average man who keeps my lights on. And I'm so appreciative and aware of that. Because I even get funny that I've had opportunities to like cut high profile people's hair, and I feel too guilty that I can't cancel all my appointments.
I was going to ask that actually, is that a route you'd ever go down, or do you think you'll always want to be in a salon environment, community environment?
I think I'd like both.
Yeah. So
I don't think I actually touched on it. By the end of the year, I'd like to get down from 6 days to like maybe 4.
Are you doing 6 days a week?
I'm doing 6 days a week.
Wow. Fair play to you.
So Sunday's the only day. My newer shop isn't open as much as I'd like it to, but with the new staff now, we're going to be open like 5 to 6 days. But like, I want to get down to a few less days so I can really like focus on social, but also raising awareness like properly, like not doing my own charity, but like actually working for the charity a bit more. But yeah, meeting people and like, I've got a few possible things coming up with TV coming up, and it's a bit like, well, if I don't actually put time aside to do that, I'm committing to too many things. For example, like, I won't say who it was, but I've worked with some really big barbers and hairdressers, and they're like, they do celebrities' hair, and I'm like, so what? But how do your customers feel if you've got to do it last minute? And they're like, oh, I just tell them that I've got so and so. Yeah. I'm like, and I remember saying it to one of my customers because I had a bit of a message back and forth with Tom Holland once, right? Yeah. Which is fucking huge for like my age range. He's probably one of the biggest celebrities on the planet, right? And I think I might get the opportunity at some point, whether it's just for a video or regular, whatever. But like, I said to my customers, I said, like, how would you feel if I said, oh, I can't do your hair today, mate? I know you booked in because I'm doing Tom Holland's hair. And they were like, yeah, I wouldn't mind. But like, if you did that again, I'd be a bit like, what, it's just taking a piss now. And I was like, I completely get that. If it was a one-off and I had this opportunity, I had to take it and I explained to you, whether it be a TV or whatever, that I think they would get it. But if it was like every time. Yeah, because to them, their haircut is important. Yeah. It could be for a date, whatever it is, a wedding. They've booked in a fucking haircut. And I've had to cancel things before, whether it's like my Tourettes is too bad and I'm being straight with them, like, mate, like, I'm so sorry, but it's for your safety as well. And I'm sorry to like do it, but I'm going to have to go home. I will reschedule if I do it after work tomorrow or something. But that's the thing, I get so booked up. It's not like I have tomorrow free to just be like, everyone can come tomorrow. But it's all part of it. And I think just, you know, I think with a lot of it, it's just about being honest.
Absolutely.
You know?
I'll show you what I've done.
Appreciate
And then we'll, I know we're going to trim the beard, but I'll do that off camera, so you haven't
Cool.
got to talk while we're doing it.
Just lovely, man.
Little 4 on top.
Beautiful.
Little skin fade.
I mean, you're obviously a great barber, but for a first time, you've absolutely smashed it. Yeah,
Appreciate
that, man.
Yeah, we're going to do the beard, but absolutely appreciate you coming in.
Pleasure,
Big
man.
respect for what you're doing.
Thank you, mate.
I know a lot of
Appreciate
people watching this are going to be influenced by what you do in a positive way. For those people that don't know you, where can they find you?
So we're on most social media platforms. I'm known as the Tourettes Barber online, and if you're looking to book in, I'm on the Booksy app. It's HCO Barbers, either Gough Soak or St Albans. So book in or give us a follow.
Good man. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Dean. Appreciate it.
No worries.